but much more than that.
No question about it. You think about leadership, experience, and you know, those are two players in particular with Lahtinen and Kubai who just made plays when you needed to make plays, who calmed the team when they needed that as well. And no, it's not easy when you've got a young core and a lot of new faces for someone to step up in that leadership position.
Still looking for her team to get some rhythm and cadence on the floor. Georgia Tech in white, and yes, Cameron Stewart and Bianca Jackson, who had been coming off the bench in the last two games, are both starting, and Swartz starts off very nicely.
Yeah, that's big for Georgia Tech. One of the things that they struggle with is finding ways to put the ball through the hole, and Cameron Swartz is somebody who can fill it up.
And there is the starting lineup. Good news, Destiny Hardin, who missed the last couple of games, is available, but will be coming off the bench. Jasmine Roberts, you got to keep starting her.
Yeah, no question. She's earned that opportunity.
And there is Hanna Cavinder, number 14 in orange, played for Jamie White at Fresno State and was a terrific player, but now thriving in the ACC. Buzzer shot off the mark by Jalea Williams, but Roberts gives them a second chance. Roberts also a very good rebounding guard, averaging almost 5 per game. Pendande inside, lost it, and good hustle to keep it with Georgia Tech. They have a very talented freshman in Kara Dunn, number 25 for Georgia Tech. This is her third straight start.
We saw Kara Dunn in her first start. Career high 17 against Louisville. She's an aggressive player, can get to the rim, can get downhill, playing with a lot of confidence.
Over the assist, Juan Aranez with the finish. Aranez only averaging about 3 points per game. First-year starter, a senior from Spain.
She had 10 points in their last matchup against Wake Forest. She's a player who is really starting to come on the offensive end of the floor.
Roberts with the miss. Good box out as the ball is hunted down by Kayla Blackshear, her first year playing at Tech after transferring from Alabama.
It's important for Georgia Tech to find multiple players that can make shots. I mean, one of the things that they've struggled with is finding a way to just put the ball in the hole. And it's going to have to be a collective effort.
Yeah, they're shooting about 37% from the floor. That is dead last in the ACC. Miami, on the other hand, as you see the miss by Williams, Miami is a team that has greatly increased its scoring from last season.
It's incredible when you're watching film on Miami. They look like a completely different team, a lot of new faces. And one thing Katie Meyer talked to us about was, you know, we went out and in the portal and these young freshmen, we got some shot makers.
You're a coach, you know how much of a difference that makes.
Oh my goodness. You know, they've always been a terrific defensive team and defensive program, but at times had struggled to put the ball in the hole.
Cavinder a little bit too strong. Blackshear comes up with it. And as we talk about Miami's potent offense, they are 0 for 4 now from the floor to start things off. Dunn, that's the talented freshman, a Georgia native. Swartz, good defense. Miami wanted the travel. Arivitz playing some good D on her. Juan Aranez, not known for her offensive potency, with the miss from the outside. Cavinder over the shoulder. Roberts, good D by Schwartz. And then Schwartz stuck a hand in. Georgia Tech with some swarming defense. Schwartz and Bianca Jackson, her third school. Back in the starting lineup. Florida State and South Carolina before transferring to Tech. And Aranez kind of in no man's land after picking up her dribble in the paint. Inside, Pendande might have gotten away with a walk there, but was hit. And you see she's got the mask on, playing with a broken nose.
Pendande does a good job of getting position. She might have gotten fouled a couple of times before they ended up calling it. But a good thing for Miami, just really moving the ball. You see lots of different players are getting touches, lots of different players are getting shot opportunities, and interior post passing. Now putting some more pressure on the defense to defend at multiple levels.
And Donde, a senior, second year at Miami after playing a couple of years at Utah. A little friendly fire got her in the face in practice a couple of weeks ago. You ever play with a mask on your face?
No.
You never broke
Fortunately,
your nose?
I never had to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Unlike Sue Bird, who broke it approximately
Multiple
13
times. Multiple times.
And Miami finally on the board thanks to Pendande at the free throw line. Now, she comes off and there is talking to Katie Meyer, might have gotten hit in the face before she hit the free throws. And there's the Miami defense.
Yeah, this is where Miami can be so dangerous. They can turn you over and get into transition so quickly. Jalea Williams is terrific on-ball defender.
She got the steal and the basket. Now Cavinder bringing it up. Little shovel pass, and Miami's on a nice run. That's a finish by Lazaria Spearman, who is a very promising true freshman.
Well, this is what Miami wants to do. You can't press until you make a bucket. They've got a couple of opportunities right here. They've got 4 points off of turnovers already, and one of the concerns for Nell Fortner was handling the pressure. Live ball turnovers hurt so bad, and when you're a team like Georgia Tech, who has a small margin for error, you can't afford that.
And now an offensive foul has been called on Tony Morgan, who just came in off the bench.
Well, this is what Miami does. This is when they're at their best. Terrific defense by Jalea Williams. Gets an easy 2 in transition.
Back in Atlanta, where Miami is on a 6-0 run, and checking into the game for the first time, Destiny Hardin, the 6-foot grad forward from Chicago, missed the last couple of games, and she has been important throughout her career with this program.
Yeah, no question. She is the returning leading scorer for this team, and she has a lot of experience. And Katie Meyer just talked about, her ability not just to make shots, but the impact that she makes in terms of her experience for this ball club. Being asked to come off the bench in her return from injury, and now they need her to continue to give this team a lift.
Shea Dwyer in the game with the orange headband for the first time. Deeper team this year than in years past. Nice pass underneath. Good patience pays off for Spearman.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's coming with the trap and the on-ball screen. So once you can get it out of the trap, Miami has a good opportunity to get a high percentage shot just like that. And you mentioned Lazaria Spearman. I mean, she's a player who is really just scratching the surface in terms of her potential.
Gosh, another turnover, and then the foul as Schwartz sends Dwyer to the floor. Cameron Schwartz, the transfer from Boston College. Georgia Tech now in a big scoring drought, 4.5 minutes long without a point. We've talked about their struggles in scoring.
Last in the league in scoring, last in the league in field goal percentage. We really struggle to find ways to put the ball in the bucket, and finding easy opportunities to gain some confidence has been tough.
Cavinder made herself some space and nailed the long 2, leading this team in scoring, free throw percentage, minutes, assists, and threes. What a find.
That's it?
That's it. She's not leading in rebounding, only second in rebounding.
Yeah, she's been really good. Yeah, she's been really good. And Katie Meyer talked about, she's a gym rat. She's always in the gym, super competitive.
Dwyer nails it. The sophomore from Toronto. And we asked Katie Meyer if she had any dogs on her team. She said Dwyer's a dog. And again, that is a supreme compliment.
Absolutely.
12-0. Miami run. Katie's talking to the Canadian.
Did you know one of Nissan's EVs survived the North Pole? And one can go 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. And they're all emission-free. But don't get an EV for the E. Get it because it pins you to your seat. sparks your imagination and takes your breath away. Nissan EVs aren't just electric. They electrify you.
We are back. Miami has hit its last 5 field goals. It is a 12-0 run. And you've seen already some of the bench players come in, and this Miami team looking really dangerous.
Well, they have such great depth, and when you can keep bringing multiple players off the bench, playing 10, 11 deep with this full court pressure, I mean, it really is an advantage. They get 10 points off of Georgia Tech turnovers already. That's exactly what Miami wants to do. They want to score the basketball so they can get in their press, turn you over quickly.
Ray Hermosa, number 20 in white in the game, who was such an important contributor last year, didn't even look to shoot that ball that time.
It really has been, a struggle for Georgia Tech, and Nerea Hermosa. Kayla Blackshear gets an easy 2. But this is a team that really needs her offense. She's proven that she could be a double-digit scorer, that she could be a solid interior presence, and she really has been non-existent in terms of production. And Georgia Tech needs her. They need her ability to score the basketball.
Yeah, they need as many points as they can get. And Hermosa, who averaged 11 points per game last year, down to just over 4 this season. There's Kara Dunn, who has not taken a shot yet. What a play by Destiny Hardin, who has been known for being one of the best thieves, if you will, one of the tops in steals in the ACC during her career. And then Spearman, Katie Meyer says she will be unbelievable. She's that talented.
Yeah, well, you look at her body and her size and her poise, the way that she moves. She's very in control. She just needs experience, and she's getting that experience.
Jackson got fouled. So 12 of Miami's 14 points have come off turnovers.
Yeah, well, they've just done such a good job on the defensive end of the floor, and this is just a heck of a play, a heads-up play by Destiny Hardin, and then extra pass. Just look at the patience right there. You face up, size up your defender, step up and knock down a jump shot. And Katie Meyer talked about Spearman, and she does have 3-point range. She's not quite as confident in that yet. But a 6'4" player who can play with her back to the basket, who can stretch the defense to 3 and run the floor like she does.
Yeah, the sky is the limit for her, and also Kyla Oldacre, another true freshman who has checked in, number 44 in orange, who does not look like a freshman.
No, she certainly doesn't. She's a player who has been limited because of injury in the preseason and is really just now starting to get herself back into basketball shape.
Oh, Georgia Tech on a nice 6-0 run, but Hardin ends that. Her first basket. Was on the ACC All-Tournament team last year when Miami went to the ACC title game for the first time ever.
All-Tournament team because she flat out lit up Louisville in that upset win as Bianca Jackson gets 3.
Much needed, and the lead has been sliced to 5 as we hit a minute to go in the first quarter. Now some pressure from Tech.
And that's got to feel good for Bianca Jackson. She went 0 for against Wake. She's an experienced player. She takes a lot of pride in her game, and it's an important opportunity for her to bounce back.
0 for 11 to be specific, and a 1-point loss. Heartbreaker in their last game against Wake Forest. Hanna Cavinder, shot altered, and Schwartz comes away with it. Laredo, number 22. She is another freshman on this team, had been starting the last couple of games, coming off the bench today for Georgia Tech. Hermosa, there you go.
And she didn't hesitate. Right. She just stepped up. She didn't hesitate. She knocked down that jump shot.
Her first basket. Shot clock's off now for Miami. Cavinder, just a little bit too strong, and Miami takes a 3-point lead. As you saw, Georgia Tech went over 5.5 minutes without a field goal for Nell Fortner. Her team 0-5 in the ACC. Cameron Schwartz, who's an excellent free throw shooter, at the end of that Wake Forest game, missed not one but two free throws, and they lost by a single point. It's been that kind of season so far.
Yes, it has. You know, she said that this group, though, has stayed positive, and they continue to work. And, you know, sometimes it takes a little bit more time as Hardin knocks down a three-point shot. And that's what Destiny Hardin's just instant offense.
Yep. Been terrific her entire career. And yes, Nell Fortner talking about her team is not quitting. They had an excellent week of practice, keeping their heads up. But it's got to be tough. Hermosa, that time off the mark.
But I like it. She's got to look to shoot the ball. Now, I'd like to see her get the ball lower in the paint as well. Maybe she's one of the ones that's rolling in that horn set.
This does not have a lot of range, does Nerea Hermosa. Has not taken a three this year. And there's some pressure upcoming from Miami. Hanna Cavinder in the game. Her identical twin sister Haley is not in. You'll have to trust us on that. One's number 14, one is number 15, and fortunately, different hair tonight. There's Hanna, who's just got the regular ponytail, Haley with the double braids.
Yes, that's helpful for us.
Very, very helpful. But they're both really good players who have helped. There you go, Hermosa.
Yep, what a great look. Get it in high-low, get her some easy opportunities. And, you know, Pam, we had them against Louisville the other night, and Nerea Hermosa didn't even look to score the basketball, and that's a good sign for Georgia Tech. Hopefully she can gain some confidence.
And that loss to Wake Forest, we referenced, Hermosa only took one shot, and there's Kyla Oldacre. Was a McDonald's All-American. Again, had to miss games at the beginning of the season. First game was December the 21st. And she's got great size at 6'6".
And great mobility.
Yeah.
You know, Katie Meyer talked about her hands, talked about her basketball IQ. She does all the little things.
Laredo with the miss. And there's the speed of Dwyer. Nice little handoff to Jasmine Roberts. Roberts' first points of the night.
So good in transition. When you've got multiple players that can initiate the break and so unselfish, finding the open player, making the right play.
7 assists on 10 baskets for Miami so far in this game. Hermosa getting it out to Schwartz inside. Hermosa, yes, this is what Nell Fortner's been missing all season.
Absolutely,
from her.
100%. Taking some ownership of being a presence inside, of being a scorer for this team.
Talented kid. There's a walk, but Hermosa, Coach Fortner told us, kind of an introvert. She's and certainly we talked about the players who are not on the team from last year, and Hermosa trying to take on a bigger role, maybe not as comfortable, more of a Robin than a Batman. But she's looking good so far tonight.
She sure is. I mean, you think about, she was a great compliment to Lorella Kubai, and she was able to be on the floor with her. She wasn't at the top of the scouting report, so to speak, and she's sort of disappeared. But she needs to reemerge, as she has tonight, for this Georgia Tech team to get some confidence, for them to find some wins, to get some opportunities.
Morgan getting it over to Schwartz. Her shot a little bit off balance, but that's kind of the way Cameron Schwartz shoots, right? It's like every shot seems to be a little bit off balance.
It is. I think sometimes she passes up good shots for tougher shots, too.
And a chance for a 4-point play for Destiny Hardin.
Destiny Hardin can do that. She hits big-time shots, contested shots, 4-point plays. Lone Adenas just walks into the shooter, and Hardin stays locked in on the rim and knocks it down.
Lone Adenas called for the foul.
And Destiny Hardin hit that game winner against Louisville, had 15 straight points. She can get hot in a hurry. That was in the ACC tournament a year ago when they upset the Cardinals.
4-point play for Hardin. Yeah, what a run it was in the ACC tournament. Back-to-back wins against Notre Dame and Louisville to get to the final. Back-to-back wins against ranked teams, just like coming into this game. With back-to-back wins over North Carolina and Virginia Tech, there's another Georgia Tech turnover. Miami shooting 61% from the floor so far in this game.
Well, they're getting a lot of layups. They're getting in
That
transition. They're getting a lot of layups. They're really working the ball. I mean, you think about this Miami team a year ago when offensively they struggled so much. The ball would stick. It wasn't moving side to side. Multiple players weren't touching it. Now it's an incredibly unselfish team. Katie Meyer talked to her team today about making sure the ball doesn't stick. Player movement, hard cuts.
In and out for Schwartz, but Blackshear was able to sneak in to give him a second chance.
One of the best offensive rebounders in the ACC.
Leading this team in rebounding. Morgan, the true freshman from Tallahassee, started the first 16 games of the season at the point, but another pick and stick by Destiny Hardin, who is already into double figures. Coming off the bench tonight after missing the last couple of games. She's got 11 and gets a nice hug and pat on the back from Katie Meyer. Full court pressure. And another almost turnover. Pendande.
I thought that was coming to us.
Yeah,
Pam.
I saw you were ready.
I was ready.
All the way across the court to Jackson. Got a little bit of space. And now here's Hanna Cavinder, who is a really tough player. Katie Meyer loves her tenacity. Not as much of a scorer as Haley. Air. And then Roberts with the finish. My goodness, Miami putting on a clinic here. They've only given up 4 points here in the second quarter.
Just look at their effort, their energy, how relentless they are. Constant movement, it makes it tough to defend. They consistently get up into you on the defensive end of the floor. They wear you down.
6 losses on the season. Blackshear just scored for Georgia Tech. But Miami definitely a team that is trending up, getting votes in both of the major polls.
That's what it takes. You're putting new pieces together. Young players, transfers. It's going to take a little bit of time to mesh, a little bit of time to come together. Their energy and effort has certainly been there. In their offense, they've found that rhythm.
Remember, this is a team, too, that is not at full strength either. They have more pieces missing. Latasha Lattimore, who tore her ACL 9 games in. And there's Hanna Cavinder, 2-time All-Mountain West Conference player back at Fresno. Pendande with the miss.
Yeah, and they missed an opportunity to get the ball in a high-low. There was a mismatch. You had Bianca Jackson defending Spearman on the block. And sometimes that's the thing, the shot selection. Understand, what are we trying to get out of that set? Who do we need to get the ball to? Still a learning process.
Miami up 31-19 as we take another timeout in Atlanta.
Back. What year was it again?
1988.
With the 31-19 lead over Georgia Tech here in the second quarter. And the Miami Hurricanes, if our ACC savvy fans, all of you watching, are saying, hey, they look a lot different from last year. They are.
They sure are. I mean, you look at these numbers and just their scoring is up 15 points a ball game. Their efficiency, the way the ball moves, player movement. This is a team that if they were going to score a year ago, it had to have been in transition. It had to have been off of turnovers, layups, interior. Now they've got players that are knocking down shots from the outside. They're attacking off the bounce. They're sharing the basketball.
They are up about 15 points per game in scoring. Here's Blackshear at the line. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, all increased from last year. They're averaging 30 bench points per game. And in this one, they already have 21.
30 bench points. They're averaging 36 points a game in the paint. You know, a lot of those come in transition when they get turnovers for scores.
Yeah, back in the day, paint points would be somebody posting up and scoring. It's very different now, especially for a team like Miami. 10-point advantage with 3 minutes to go in the half. And how about they have this advantage without a single point from Haley Cavinder? Both Cavinders in at the same time. Count it! There's Haley's first points. Or check it.
Yeah, this is just a really good take. Attacking a closeout. Great job of getting in the paint, finishing with contact.
Sorry, it was the wrong Cavinder. It's Hanna who hasn't scored. That's the second basket for Haley, leading this team at 13 points per game. Last year set an NCAA single-season record. She made over 97% of her free throws. She took 112 free throws and missed 3.
Sounds like you, Pam.
In games.
That's incredible.
Not like, you know, just...
I mean, locked in, focused, repetition. Katie Meyer said that she's a gym rat. They're in the gym all the time. That's repetition. That's confidence. That's mentality. That's toughness.
Dunn still looking for her first points.
Oh, Spearman running the floor. That's a great look. And finish. I mean, that is just textbook right there. We're talking about your post player who's under the rim when the shot goes up, beating everybody down the floor, and pass on the money, hitting her in stride.
Boy, Lazaria Spearman, who is from the state of Georgia. Dacula, I think is that how you say the town?
She's home.
She's home, and Coach Meyer was concerned that she might be pressing a little bit. So far, so good for Spearman. She's got 8 points and has hit all 4 of her shots, with a lot of people in the stands cheering for her. Hanna, she cracks the score sheet. Last year averaged almost 15 points per game. It's an 8-0 run now for Miami. Kara Dunn fouled out on the perimeter by Haley Cavinder. Picks up her first. Now Hanna comes out. Schwartz, Naredo, Morgan, and Hermosa all coming in. Nell Fortner subbing in 4 players at the same time. Destiny Hardin back in for Miami after missing the last couple of games. Hardin with 11 points. A couple of threes, 4-point play.
Yeah, you got to get her the ball there. Yeah, and that's youth. That's an experience right there with Morgan, understanding she's got position. We got to give it to her. But great job of getting herself an opportunity by Hermosa, crashing the offensive glass.
Hermosa with the putback. She has 8 points. That's just 2 off her season high in scoring. Jasmine Roberts got hit on the way up.
It's the second time Georgia Tech has fouled a jump shooter, 1 on a 3-point shot. Right, that you got to force teams to hit tough contested shots. If they hit them, you have to live with it. But you got to be disciplined in those situations to not foul jump shooters.
Jasmine Roberts at the line. What a great story she is. We talked about her in the open. Averaged only 2 points per game last year, about 8 minutes. Did not transfer. Got herself in the gym, and look where she is now. Saturdays are all about men's college basketball on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Duke Clemson at 5 Eastern, and then Notre Dame Syracuse at 7 Eastern this Saturday. A great evening and afternoon of hoops on the ACC Network.
You mentioned it, Pam, too. She got herself in the gym. She talked about her parents, her high school coach, really just giving her reassurance and confidence and telling her to keep working. And Shanice Johnson, who's assistant coach, who one of the Miami's all-time greats, in her ear talking about, hey, you know, it's a process. It's a process. You got to get in the gym. You got to continue to get better. And boy, has she. And she's taken advantage of her opportunity.
Roberts with a decent look on the drive. Couldn't get it to go. Hardin couldn't tie it up. Georgia Tech really struggling. Just 10 points in this quarter. Trailed by 3 after 1. And now an opportunity with 12 seconds left for Miami to take the last shot of the half. And with that, they're going to send Hanna Cavinder. Well, they tried to send Cavinder in. And now she heads back to the bench. Destiny Hardin. She said she got fouled. The officials don't agree. But Hardin with a terrific first half, leading all scorers with 11 points off the bench. Miami shot 57% from the floor. And they lead by 17 at the half. We're going to get you to. This is the first of a 3-game homestand. We'll be back here Sunday for an afternoon game against Duke, who is only unbeaten in the league. So it doesn't get any easier.
Well, I mean, this is a tough, deep league, and you've got to be able to bring it every night. And most importantly for this Georgia Tech team, the margin for error is slim. Have to give yourself every opportunity on the offensive end of the floor.
Good way to start. Cameron Schwartz, who in the first half only had 2 points, doubles that. She is their leading scorer, been coming off the bench the last couple of games. But then Miami answers quickly. Williams scoring, and some contact out at midcourt as Schwartz hits the deck. Pendande goes over there to say, I'm sorry. How do you say I'm sorry in Spanish? Your Spanish is pretty good, right?
Lo siento.
Lo siento. Carly in graphics had that too.
Did she? Carly had that?
Yeah. Because she told me because she knew I had no idea. Yes.
Good job, Carly. Way to have her back.
17-point advantage for Miami. Oh, man, they are just relentless. There's a kicked ball, comes back to the Hurricanes. Joe Vasili, Fatu Sissoko-Stevens, and Edward Sidlaski, our officials here in Atlanta. Had some nasty storms roll through this area. We hope everybody is safe and dry. It's pretty scary, both in Alabama and through here in Georgia. A lot of power outages. Heck of a storm that rolled through.
Sure was.
Ergovitz with the ball, the only Hurricane who didn't score in the first half, but her numbers are down from last year on the offensive end. So we got Katie Meyer standing in front of us, and she's animated. Her reactions are hilarious. Pendande. Williams is going to have to throw something up.
And that was one of the first possessions where the ball stuck in hands multiple times. So there were multiple touches where the ball was in their hands for 2 or 3 seconds. It didn't move, very disjointed. And give Georgia Tech credit for their defensive energy and intensity, but certainly something that Katie Meyer is going to address with her team.
I think that she will let them know. Shot clock violation, another turnover. Gets it back to Miami. In the first quarter, what a difference. Georgia Tech just 4 of 15 from the floor. Outscored by 14. Jasmine Roberts coming out of the game.
Katie Meyer using this as a teaching opportunity right here.
Roberts a sophomore. And then the finish by Blackshear. Blackshear had a really nice first half, 6 points and 7 boards.
And when you're playing against the pressure, the 94 feet of pressure, if you can handle it, you're going to get high percentage looks. That was really good execution offensively. Destiny Hardin gets an easy 2.
Her first points of the second half. Leading this team in rebounding as a small forward. Second in scoring to Haley Cavinder. Blackshear too tall for Lone Ardes. Another turnover for the Yellow Jackets.
And missed opportunity. You had her showing her numbers. Got to be able to deliver that pass.
And coming into this game, you see that's 11 turnovers now for Georgia Tech. Miami second in the conference, averaging 20 forced turnovers per game. Merjevitz. Oldacre lost it, but Williams was able to rescue. Shot clock getting really skinny now. Williams all by herself, but didn't even draw iron. So a couple of offensive possessions that are going to make Coach Meyer a little cranky.
Well, and I think that's the challenge and the growth of this team for Katie Meyer is maintaining consistency, keeping your foot on the gas, staying locked in. I mean, certainly it's a game of runs. There's no question about it. But when you've had back-to-back big wins, when you're up big on the road, how do you stay locked in? And that's the challenge that Katie Meyer and her staff have right now. And if you're Georgia Tech, you got to take advantage of this, right? You get an opportunity when you get a stop, you got to come down and get a score. You've got to be able to convert.
But instead, it's yet another Georgia Tech turnover.
And Toni Morgan looks a little bit, out of rhythm. She didn't start this ball game, first one that she didn't start, and learning how to contribute coming off the bench is real, right? She's a young player. She's a freshman. She started every game. Now she's in a different position. I think Nell Fortner wants her and will communicate to her, you still got to play your game.
Walk. Getting a little run of turnovers here. And Toni Morgan, the freshman, had a double-double against Furman, almost a triple-double, just 2 assists away from that. First Georgia Tech freshman with a double-double since the Liz's, Elizabeth Balagoon and Liz Dixon, both of whom transferred to Louisville. Balagoon now with Duke. That was 5 years ago. Schwartz, wide right. Boy, they had Williams, but Haley Cavinder couldn't get it to her. Aryevitz scores her first bucket.
Good patience by Cavinder, keeping her head up. She saw Aryevitz streaking down that left lane and was able to deliver it. You've been calling for Aryevitz to get her too.
So now everybody who has played for Miami has scored, and now they're going to get Haley out on the perimeter, her second personal foul. And her sister, Hanna, comes in to replace her. Both of them have one more year left, if they so choose, and Haley told us this afternoon that right now she's leaning towards coming back to use up that final year of eligibility. You might know the Cavinders have cashed in a lot on the NIL. Blackshear's having a really nice game.
Yeah, you can see Kayla Blackshear's confidence offensively every game, just continuing to grow. Had a career-high 16 against Wake Forest with 13 rebounds as well, her first career double-double.
Aryevitz, back-to-back buckets. Nope, that's off the mark. Blackshear got tied up with Oldacre, and the foul is on the Miami freshman. That was the first one on the freshman from Mason, Ohio. It's rare that players come out of the game without Katie Meyer grabbing them and at least getting a few words in with them.
Yeah, I think each time you come out there, it's an opportunity to teach. And oftentimes players, when they're coming off the floor, they want some feedback.
Yeah. Katie Meyer was a terrific player at Duke.
Pictures up on the wall in the concourse at Duke.
That's right, at Cameron. She was tough. Nice finish for Hanna Cavinder.
Nobody stops the ball. Go all the way to the rack.
averaging just under 4 points per game on the season. Last year averaged about 15 at Fresno.
And look, she's a player who could average more points.
Yeah.
You know, she's playing a different role here in this system and comes in and really is a terrific distributor, floor leader, floor general.
Kara Dunn.
That was a great read by Kara Dunn. She saw the mismatch. She did a good job of making herself available, showing herself to the ball.
Just her second shot, her first points of the night. Dunn coming off 12 points in the 1-point loss to Wake Forest. Her second start after putting up 17 in her first career start at Louisville. A game that was close until the fourth quarter. Morgan, foul on her way to the basket. So a timeout, still a 17-point lead for Miami.
Well, Miami's been so good in transition, and Hanna Cavinder brings it down the floor. Nobody stops her. She gets an easy 2 in the paint.
Hey, you want to order some Taco Bell?
Atlanta, Miami, right now on a 3-game win streak with a comfortable lead over Georgia Tech, up by 17 here in the third quarter. Tech still looking for his first ACC win. And Virginia Tech and Louisville just went final. Virginia Tech hanging on to beat Louisville by 2 at home.
They needed that. Virginia Tech certainly did.
This has been an exciting ACC season, and Brooke Wyckoff, my ACC Coach of the Year right now.
Yeah, I mean, she is doing an outstanding job at Florida State. There's no question about it. Tonight, Latson is just crushing. I mean, 31, incredibly efficient here tonight as well. I mean, 13 of 16 from the floor.
Florida State with a...
Playing like a national freshman of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Florida State with a 19-point win over NC State. Miami's certainly on the upswing. This is a team that, if they're not ranked next week, there is something horribly wrong.
Florida State? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Florida
question.
State and Miami.
No question. I mean, you've got two teams that have had big wins, and it's pretty incredible. I don't know. Are you voting?
No, they don't let me vote.
No, they don't let me
me
vote either.
Yeah. What do you know? Everything.
What's that?
I said, what do you know?
Oh,
Everything.
exactly.
Georgia Tech, this is a team that's been offensively challenged all season. On Arenas, that's kind of out of her range.
Yeah, certainly want to get shots up if you're Georgia Tech, but who's taking the shots, when, and where are important. As Roberts gets another 2 in transition, sometimes bad shots are just as bad as turnovers.
Jasmine Roberts still in the starting lineup, even though Hardin is back on the floor. Now some pressure from Georgia Tech. Shea Dwyer's really quick.
Yeah, it's just too easy. It's too easy. They're able to break the pressure. They're able to get 2 feet in the paint. One-on-one drives. It's just been too easy. Kayla Blackshear's having a good outing. And this is a Georgia Tech team that has some young players that just need experience. And certainly finding ways to build confidence through that experience, through these tough struggles that they're having right now is important.
And the young lady with the ball is one example. True freshman Toni Morgan, you get thrown into a Power 5 conference as a starting point guard, coming off the bench for the first time in her career tonight. And she has not scored. heads to the free throw line. She's a national high jump AAU champion at the age of 12, so this is a really good athlete. Trying to find her way now as a freshman point guard. There's some amazing fans across the ACC, and we need your help. ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. Snap a picture, take a video, tag it with hashtag #AllTheDevotion, post it on your social, and you just might see it on the ACC Network. Rado with the steal. Another one of the freshmen you referenced. Her first bucket. Known more for her three-point shooting.
Right now, if you're Georgia Tech, you just got to find a way to chip away. You've got to string a couple of stops together and get a couple of scores. It's about growing and playing the game within the game. And right there, a good opportunity to get the steal. Inez Naredo gets an easy 2 in transition. You got to use that as a momentum play. You know, this is a really good offensive team in Miami, so you got to get a couple of back-to-back stops and then finish with scores.
Roberts gets the offensive rebound. Another 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hanna Cavinder dials up the 3.
Extra possessions, get an offensive rebound, and Miami makes you pay for it.
Well, right now, Hannah's outscoring Haley in this game. Morgan, that's a nice crossover. Got a little bit of distance from Dwyer. And the air ball thrown up by Naredo.
You don't see that very often by Naredo. She's a terrific three-point shooter. That was really good execution, a good find by Tony Morgan.
Georgia Tech hangs on to the basketball. Haley Cavinder coming out for Miami. Less than 2 seconds difference between the play and shot clock. It looks like Georgia Tech wants to take as many seconds as possible.
Yeah, you want to use this opportunity right here. Time and score, execution.
Yeah, we heard Katie Meyer just say stay disciplined, but boy, Kayla Blackshear has been a thorn in their side tonight. Georgia Tech down by 15 with one more quarter to play. Cotton candy action. Katie Meyer coaching them up. And again, that Florida State score, eye-popping. As they have really come on, lost so many players. You mentioned Latson with 31 points. Sarah Bajetti, our favorite Finn, with 21 points for Florida State.
Again, Florida State's a program that has certainly been known for their defense. They've had their struggles offensively. Well, that is no longer. Brooke Wyckoff's system is fitting the players that she has. They're getting up and down the floor. They're scoring at a high clip.
Sue Semrau enjoying her retirement. And Brooke Wyckoff, one of her former players, has been an assistant for so many years, now in charge. And some great wins for Florida State. Notre Dame with another convincing victory. Kara Dunn, there you go.
Georgia Tech outscored Miami in that third quarter, and you see a little bit of life in Georgia Tech right now. Again, an opportunity, get a stop and a score, get some momentum.
Outscored them by 2 in that third quarter.
Got to be able to string multiple stops together.
Shea Dwyer thought about it. Hanna Cavinder with the shot clock dying, in and out. Kara Dunn comes away with a rebound.
That shot didn't go in, but that was good patience and execution.
Good look for Cavinder out there. The ball just didn't go down.
You see the difference in the ball movement for Miami and how stagnant it is, and the ball getting stuck for Georgia Tech. Blackshear continues her tear offensively.
And with that, Katie Meyer calls a timeout. Blackshear has tied her career high.
He wanted pizza.
The lead down to 10. They're actually outscoring Miami here in the second half. And Kayla Blackshear, the Alabama transfer, is a big reason why. Back-to-back games now for Blackshear with career highs in scoring. 16 points in their last game against Wake, 16 points so far in this one.
Well, finding ways to generate offense has been important, and Kara Dunn knocks down a shot right there, and Blackshear just on the roll and rise. She's been really confident offensively. She hasn't hesitated at all, and you see more opportunity for her, and she's taking advantage of it.
Also had a career high in rebounds against Wake, and that heartbreaking 1-point loss in their last game. 8 boards so far.
That's one of the other things that you look at with this Georgia Tech team. There are a lot of players on the floor right now who are playing in different roles. Blackshear, a year ago at Alabama, was not asked to score the basketball. No, she's a player who now they're going to rely on to score the basketball. You got young players on the floor, 3 freshmen right now, finding new identities.
Haley Cavinder was able to regather.
There's that high jumping ability.
Yep. Hanna Cavinder knocking it out of bounds. Ball stays with Georgia Tech. Miami has yet to score in this quarter.
That's what Toni Morgan gives you on the floor. She gives you ability to push pace. She gets the rebound right there, and then they're out in transition. If you can't push pace, you're not going to allow yourself easier opportunities at the bucket.
And that's why Nell Fortner put her in the starting lineup for a couple of games, because of that fast pace. Morgan left open on the perimeter and nails it.
Really good offensive execution. The ball was moving. You forced a rotation, making the right play. And knocking down a big shot.
Huge single-digit lead for the first time in a long time. And then Hardin ran in to Haley Cavinder. The fans here wanted to walk. Blackshear, good defense. And then Morgan tips it. That's a shot clock violation, and Georgia Tech rejuvenated.
They've stayed patient. They've chipped away. They've been able to get some stops. Ball's moving a little bit more, and they're shooting with confidence offensively.
Miami has led by as many as 20, but there's a turnover. Hardin into Pendande for a much-needed bucket. That's the first points of the quarter for the Canes. Morgan showing that speed. And the finish. And Esnaredo, the true freshman from Spain.
And these are the young players, Nell Fortner's young players, who are really giving this team a lot of energy. They're getting it done defensively, unselfish, sharing the basketball offensively, changing the pace of the ball game.
Big three. Hanna Cavinder knocking it down.
And how about that? We hear so much about Haley and her production. Now, she has not been scoring a lot today, but Hanna has given this team a lift off the bench, knocking down 3 threes, getting out in transition. Hannah's the one Katie Meyer said she's just super intense.
Yes. She's the one you would want if you were in any sort of a situation.
Absolutely.
Go to Hanna.
That's right. She steps up and she knocks that down.
Hey, you want to order some Taco Bell?
Back in Atlanta, where Georgia Tech had trailed by as many as 20, different story in the second half. They shot 36% in the first half, 61% so far in this half. They lead by 10, and coming back from break, you saw Nerea Hermosa, who had a good first half and has played 0 seconds in the second half for Tech.
And well, the lineup that's been on the floor has really given Tech an opportunity to make a run, to make a dent in this lead. They've come with high energy defensively. Pace is better on the offensive end. Ball movement's better.
Done with the miss out of the timeout, but I'm still a little baffled as to why Hermosa has not played in the second half. Good first half, offensively at least, with 8 points. But they have made this run with her on the bench. 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Good defense by Georgia Tech, inducing another shot clock violation. Hanna Cavinder tying her career high with 11 points, but couldn't get out of that jam.
And you got to give Georgia Tech a lot of credit because they were struggling in the first half offensively, but they've really locked in on the defensive end. They didn't let it continue to affect them defensively, and they've been able to string stops together and chip away at this lead.
And this is a team mired in a 4-game losing streak, 0 for 5 in the ACC, and there's no quit in them. Working inside and got fouled. More assertive in the second half after going scoreless in the first.
And we've seen Inez Naredo go to the rim, too. Typically, we see her shoot from the outside, a three-point shooter, but she's done a really good job of putting the ball on the deck and making plays.
True freshman, from Spain, who is a biomedical engineering major. Every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew breaks down everything in the ACC, including right after us tonight. Kelsey Riggs, Kelly Gramlich, Muffet taking the night off. I don't know what she's doing. Lexi Brown,
she's
making
watching
her
hoops.
debut. I'm sure she watched her former team, Notre Dame. I'm sure she's watching now, but we'll get to them when this game is over. A lot of exciting games again tonight in the ACC. Too much dribbling causes the turnover. Dunn just swiped it away from Williams. Miami only had 4 turnovers in the first half. They have 7 so far here in the second.
When Georgia Tech's activity level has improved. Moving their feet, active hands. And again, you think about right there, shot selection, getting an opportunity, you get a stop. You want to continue to give yourself the best chance offensively. I'm not sure that's the best shot.
Haley Cavinder with a chance at a 3-point play. The best free throw shooter in the nation last year.
Well, Haley Cavinder does a good job of recognizing Kayla Blackshear's high foot is low, and she just attacks it and is able to use her body to protect the ball. I'm blaming that on you. The announcer jinx.
She couldn't believe it either, Haley. All right, we'll let her miss one. She came in on the 26 of 28 on the season coming in. Morgan, no. Good rebound by Dunn, the talented freshman. Yeah, we'll honor that. That would not have been a good take. Ndande gets it up to Williams, who missed it. Kara Dunn with the good defense.
That was a great hustle play by Kara Dunn. She was in the backcourt. She didn't give up on the play. She continued to pursue. She contested and was able to come up with the rebound. I mean, that is textbook, multiple levels of effort. And the reason that Kara Dunn is on the floor, I mean, this is just, it looks like it's an easy layup, and Kara Dunn just comes streaking from behind, stays active, still stays in the play. There are 3 orange jerseys. She keeps it alive. That is why these young players are on the floor, because she's not scoring the basketball, but she's still bringing the effort, the energy. She's still impacting the ball game. And I think that's a challenge for a lot of young players. When you're not scoring, can you still impact the ball game? And that's a perfect example of how to do it.
Great hustle. Her mom played at Georgia and was her high school coach. Turnover, turnover.
Another missed opportunity, right idea, just couldn't quite deliver it.
Miami scored 40 points in the first half, just 22 so far here in the second. Aryavitz coming back in for Lachey Dwyer, who goes right to Coach Meyer, knowing she's going to get an earful of something. Spearman, number 32, back in the game for Miami, one of their great freshmen. Shot clock winding down, tipped away. Kara Dunn of doing it again on defense.
Well, Georgia Tech's been able to put together some stops. Now they've got to find a way to convert offensively.
Nell Fortner's got to be pleased, especially with this response after her team got down by 20. A really good second half, especially defensively. Ellen Schwartz getting over to Ron Arades.
Well, there's not a lot of time. You want to try to get some quick scores.
But then Schwartz with the offensive foul. Schwartz tonight just 4 points. Again, back in the starting lineup, both she and Bianca Jackson, after they came off the bench the last couple of games, they have combined for 9 points tonight.
Well, Georgia Tech's trying to mount a comeback, but they've got 4 turnovers in the last 2.5 minutes. You get a turnover right there, you got to be able to convert.
Great hustle by Schwartz, who's a little slow getting up. They got the foul on Aryavitz for Miami.
But Pam, this game really is sort of a microcosm of the season for Georgia Tech. It's very up and down throughout the course of the game. You know, how can this team find ways to be consistent? Consistent effort, consistent execution, consistent attention to detail in terms of the scouting report. That's when you'll see the difference in the wins and losses.
Now the officials are coming over.
The last play is under review for the shot clock.
So Joe Vasily over at the monitor for a check, and Kayla Blackshear with back-to-back double-doubles now. 16 points, 13 rebounds against Wake, and she's done it again tonight. And you talk about efficiency, 7 of 9 from the floor for her, 16 points, so a bright spot for Nell Fortner.
No question, and even her growth from when we saw her at Louisville, catch and shooting, not hesitating, looking for her shot, playing offensively with confidence. I mean, that's a part of her growth process, is becoming more of a threat on the offensive end of the floor. And she's certainly been able to do that.
Miami, you were talking about Georgia Tech. You look at Miami, they've had 10 players come in. By the way, Elena Johnson-City Baba, the veteran, staying at home, did not travel with the team, dealing with an injury, a medical issue, not serious right now. And but Katie Meyer has all these players, and you're a head coach going back to the Connecticut Sun.
Yep.
You coached collegiately in the WNBA as well. How do you manage all those players?
It's tough, it's tough
Shot
because
clock
everybody
stays at 28.
Because everybody wants to play, right? Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to get theirs. But it's also an advantage. It's an advantage because they can wear teams down. The hardest part is night in and night out trying to figure out a rotation. And part of that is managing minutes. Part of that is if you don't know what you're getting from players night in and night out. And I think that's the biggest challenge for coaches is if you've got players who sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't, you never really know what you're going to get. It makes it really hard for you to put together rotations, matchups, best offensive lineups, best defensive lineups. And honestly, not everybody's going to be happy.
It's impossible, right?
It is, and it's about finding ways to put your team in the best position to win ball games.
And we've seen Coach Meyer substitute very liberally in this game. 2 players in double figures. Destiny Hardin got most of her points in the first half, and Hanna Cavinder, who has 11. Everybody who has played has scored. Kayla Blackshear leading the way, 16 points for Tech. Nobody else has more than 6 on her team. Or 8, excuse me. That's Hermosa, who we've not seen in the second half. There is Nerea, who has not played a single second in the second half after putting up 8 points off the bench in the first half, going 4 of 6. Georgia Tech, though, here has missed all 5 of its last shots. 0 of their last 5 to make more sense. Also, both teams turning the ball over here in the fourth quarter. And Miami a minute 12 away from picking up their 4th straight win. And then they play Wake Forest at home and then go to NC State, who was handled surprisingly easily tonight by maybe
Florida
not
State,
so surprising,
yeah.
right? Florida State they're firing on all cylinders.
They sure are. And, NC State has really had some problems putting together, some consistency. Diamond Johnson was injured at one point and then finally came back, and being able to fire on all cylinders, so to speak, for NC State with what they've lost and depending upon different players.
Of course, Elisa Cunane deciding not to use her final year of eligibility. State now 3-3 in the league.
Anytime you have a game where Jada Boyd and Jakia Brown-Turner go 0 for together, it's not going to be very successful for the Wolfpack.
Kayla Blackshear with a new career high in scoring. And then forcing another turnover. Schwartz, big 3. Timeout, Miami. It is a 7-point ball game.
Well, that was really good execution out of the timeout. Cameron Schwartz using the screen. She knew she was going to catch and shoot it, no hesitation. And Katie Meyer wants to talk about it. Opportunity to advance the ball right now. You look at our timeouts. Georgia Tech has no fouls to give, so certainly if you get an opportunity to get a 5-second call, you want to. If not, you want to extend the ball game. Got to foul quickly.
Georgia Tech outscoring Miami by 10. Here in the second half, Miami's only scored 22 points since the break. They had 24 points alone in the second quarter. And in the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds, no field goals and 4 turnovers for the Canes.
Well, that's one of the things we talked about in the open for this Miami team. Can you maintain that same energy, intensity, and focus that it took to win back-to-back top 25 games? You can't have a mental letdown.
Not in this league. And Georgia Tech winless in the ACC, but still a tough out.
And Georgia Tech electing not to foul.
Oh, Morgan went for the steal and was called for the foul. It's 3 on the freshman. And this is the person you don't want on the line if you're Georgia Tech. Hanna Cavinder.
Well, you already jinxed her once.
Yeah,
so.
just keep going.
I don't think that's going to happen again.
last year, she missed 3 free throws all year and took 112 of them. So with the free throws, Haley joins her sister Hanna and Destiny Hardin into double-figure scoring tonight. And most likely just salted this game away. And Georgia Tech continues their homestand. They have Duke here on Sunday. We'll be here for a 4 o'clock Eastern time game, and then they finish up with Syracuse next Thursday before they go on the road at North Carolina.
Yeah. You know, right now in this time and score situation, if you're Nell Fortner, you want to make sure that your team's executing, right? These are opportunities to grow. These are opportunities to work on things that you need to work on in game live action. So these timeouts, the communication, the execution, it's all important.
Tech needs to score quickly. Morgan slices inside and does just that. Williams racing by everybody. Boy, Georgia Tech was trying to foul her and they couldn't catch her. And Katie Meyer calls another timeout.
And that's something that you're talking about in the huddle too. You're talking about, hey, we get a score, we got a foul right away. Missed an opportunity in the backcourt.
Both teams now just down to 1 timeout. Possession arrow favors Georgia Tech.
Again, more opportunities, though, for both coaches to use these in-game live-action teaching moments.
Yeah, because there might be people at home going, hey, look, Katie Meyer, you're up by 7 with 28 seconds left. This game's over, but she still takes a timeout.
Yeah, well, you saw your player get backed into the corner or 3 people around her. You certainly don't want a turnover. Now you get an opportunity to work on sideline, out of bounds, end-of-game situations. You know, these are things that are really hard to simulate the pressure of the moment in practice.
There is a foul with just over 28 seconds left to go on Morgan, her 4th. And coming off the bench for the first time this season, did not score in the first half. Good second half for Tony with 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's a nice line.
It sure is.
Didn't hang her head after kind of a rough start.
And that's what you want to see from a young player. Thrown into a different situation, struggled early in the ball game, but continued to fight through it, continued to play through it.
And another timeout taken. And that is the final timeout for Nell Fortner and Georgia Tech. 28 seconds away from falling to 0-6 in the league. Pitt is the other team in the league that has yet to win a game. There's Tasha Butts. Good to see Tasha back. 4th year on the bench with Coach Fortner. Struggling through that battle with cancer last year. And the good news is we've heard she's full speed ahead. So great to see. And they had the shirts last year, Tasha Tough, the former Tennessee great. And it's terrific to see Coach Butts back on the sideline. Because, you know, it's a no-stress job, right?
Right. Yes, it certainly is to see her on the sidelines, feeling good, healthy. And the impact that she makes, you know, on this program and on these young women. Certainly missed her when she wasn't around, not just from a basketball standpoint, but from a mentor and a life standpoint.
Fans hanging around. See Georgia Tech, they're running out of time. They've had a good second half, good fight in this team. Morgan. The Miami bench is yelling no fouls. Schwartz, rebound goes out. Second chance for Schwartz, puts up the three, and she was hacked shooting a three. 100% not what you want.
100%, and you know that it's been talked about in the huddle. We're not going to foul, and you certainly don't want to foul a three-point shooter. You don't want to give him an opportunity to get points with no time running off the clock. You know it is on the top of the scouting report that Cameron Schwartz shoots off-balance shots. She's fading into you. You have to be disciplined in these situations.
And it was Dwyer who got her. Schwartz, the best free throw shooter on this team. .84% coming into the game. Gets 2 out of 3. Destiny Hardin coming back in. Hardin with 11 points in the first half. Just 2 here in the second as she's coming back after missing the last couple of games. And finally the foul with just over 8 seconds left to go. And he's not quick enough with the fouls. And this is smart for Miami is you let Haley Cavinder have the ball, and the best free throw shooter in the country.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where, again, you know in the huddle, if they've been told, hey, we're going to foul, it's right away. And if not, you let the clock run out. And you take this game and you watch the film and you go back and you look at the things that you did well and you talk about the things that you need to continue to improve on.
These are the standings, and assuming the score holds, and I'm predicting it will, Miami will go to 4-2 in the league. This is their 4th straight win. So they back up top 25 wins against North Carolina and Virginia Tech and hold off this Georgia Tech team. Georgia Tech falls to 0-6 in the league.
And Pam, this is a team in Miami that played Notre Dame and Florida State well. I mean, they were right there.
But they come away with a hard-fought victory. Katie Meyer walked in front of us and just heaved a big old sigh. Like, thank goodness, this one is over.
Hey, winning anywhere in this league is tough. It really is. And everyone that you can get, you can squeak out, you're thankful for.
So Hanna Cavinder with 11. Haley finished with 14, going 8 for 10. She missed 2 free throws tonight. What's wrong with her?
I don't know. What's up with that?